this is Michael. Thank you for listening to the podcast today. I do really appreciate it. If you'd like more information, you can visit me online at michaellottministries.org. And while you're there, be sure to get my email address and send in your prayer requests and your comments. It's always wonderful to hear from you. Did you know that I'm also on iTunes and Podomatic and Google Play and Spotify and YouTube and a lot of funny sounding places, so you can listen on just about any device that you carry. And if you go to michaellottministries.blogspot.com, there you can subscribe to my blog by entering your email address right there in that little box on top of the page. Thanks again for listening today. And as always, before we begin, it is such a great joy and an honor to be able to pray for you. My loving Father, I do with all my heart thank you for all who hear these words. Thank you so much that we get to share this journey together. Father, thank you not only for the words that you give me to share with them, but so many words that they share with me that they receive from you. Thank you so very much that we can learn together. Teach us who you are and how much you love us. But Father, I pray not only for them, but for everyone they love and all the things they care about. And I thank you for making their lives like heaven on earth, meeting every need, providing joy abundantly in every situation. Thank you so much, Father, and all these things I pray through my King and my Lord and my Savior, Jesus, my everything. The message today is called, Love Broke the Scale. We begin in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6 says, So humble yourself under the mighty power of God, and at the right time he will lift you up in honor. Give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares about you. Then we go to Matthew chapter 11. Beginning in verse 25, it says, At that time, Jesus prayed this prayer, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, thank you for hiding these things from those who think themselves wise and clever, and for revealing them to the childlike. Yes, Father, it pleased you to do it this way. My Father has entrusted everything to me. No one truly knows the Son except the Father, and no one truly knows the Father except the Son and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Then Jesus said, Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. I woke up this morning with these verses in my heart. I love waking up that way. Father is so kind. What a great love he has for us that he put his only begotten Son in charge of all the things we could ever need. Our caretaker came and joined in our suffering and partook of the same day-to-day problems that we all have. He knows what it's like to have money problems and family problems, and he bore all our sickness and disease and distress in his own body on that tree. So he truly is a high priest who understands our sufferings. And I'm so delighted that he loves us this much. So as I began to read these verses today and to give thanks, Jesus spoke to me the following words, and I'd like to share them with you. He said, Carefree. Yes, that is what I want you to be. I want you to give me all your worries and cares and concerns. I purchased all your problems with my blood. I knew you wouldn't just give them to me, so I bought them. I paid in full, in every detail. Nothing was left out. When I counted the cost for you, I considered your sins, your problems, your debts, your faults, your condition, and your lack. I put all these things on one side of my scale. On the other side, I put the great love I have for you. My love broke the scale. It wasn't even close. Your misdeeds were no match for my love. You must know I didn't shed my blood for you because I had to. I did it because I love you, and I couldn't even imagine eternity without you. Your enemy had you trapped. You were born into captivity and didn't even know it. You were born in prison and had no hope. This broke my heart. I paid the highest price for your freedom because I knew that with what I paid, no one could ever outbid me and take you from me. I have always loved you. Your value to me is immeasurable. Those of you with children, you understand this. You know what you're willing to pay for them. What would you give to buy your children back from hell? This is who love is, and this is what love does. So now that you understand your value to me, where do you value each other? The person you're angry with is the person I'm in love with. The person you despise is the apple of my eye. So, my beloved, no more division, no more us and them, for we are one. Now, about your worries and cares. Do you really think I would pour out my blood for you and not care if you were in need? Would I care about your eternity and not care about your Tuesday? Would I build you a mansion in heaven and not care about your house on earth? Would I have treasures of gold and silver and jewels put into your crown in heaven and not care that you were poor upon the earth? Of course not. Even the hairs of your head are numbered. Not just numbered, but each one is numbered and put into a grid right there on your head where I designed it, right in its own correct place. You are so loved. This is one reason my children suffer. You try to make things work in your own power and by your own might, and not by faith in my love for you. You work and labor and all things are honorable, but you must remember that you do these things because you are loved and because you are blessed, not so that you will be loved and you will be blessed. Consider the birds. They don't build big barns. They don't worry about tomorrow. They just worship and eat, and in their joy, they don't realize they're planting seeds by scattering them, and they don't realize that when they take a cool drink of water, they collect fish eggs on their feet and carry them from water to replenish the earth. They're just worshiping and living, and they accomplish such great things without any effort or thought. This is where many have gone wrong. They believe gain is godliness, so they use my scriptures and try to obtain wealth and prove their faith. But the truth is, gain is not the thing. Worship is the thing. And while at worship, gain will be added to you, not by striving and sweating, but by seeking my kingdom through worship. My scriptures tell you that you enter my gates with thanksgiving and my courts with praise. You seek the kingdom by seeking the King. I'm always with you, but you're not always conscious of me. But when you worship, suddenly you realize I am with you. You come to me in worship, and I give you rest by taking your burdens and cares and giving you my peace. If you find the face of the King, you must have found the kingdom. I am the King, and I am the kingdom. Seek me. I'm not hard to find. I'm right here in your heart. Have you ever noticed that your daily chores are much easier when you do them while you're singing than they are if you do them while complaining? We created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. It wasn't hard work. We stretched it out as long as we could because we were having so much fun creating a place that we could come dwell with you. We rested on the seventh, not because we were weary, but because the earth was complete. It's the same with the cross. I said, "It is finished," because my sacrifice, once and for all, completed all things that were needed to bring you into resurrection life. The house was built, but not all move into the house and live in it. Some think they're not worthy, so they try to build their own house, and they struggle. I am your promised land, but not all choose to live in me. Some choose to live the life of the world in the wilderness of sin and do not come into the house of holiness and rest, the house that is finished. My loved ones, I have provided all things you could ever need. I prepared a place for you and me. In my Father's house are many mansions. There is room for all of you to live in me. You can live and move and have your glorious life in me. You don't have to live like the world and by the world. You can live by staying connected to me so that my life flows through you. You don't have to live as orphans. The table is set. Come and dine. Give me your cares. Give me each moment of your life. Don't live by labor. Live by worship. Let labor be the thing you accomplish while in worship. Let my song be in your heart at all times, and you will find the rest that you're looking for. Instead of worrying about your bills, how about singing over them? Instead of saying, how are we ever going to pay this? How about singing a song instead and give thanks that I've already given you all things that pertain to life and godliness? Those who believe have entered into my rest. This is simple faith. Prayer is not asking for what you need, but real faith-filled prayer is knowing that your needs are already met. Give me thanks while watching to see which way your provision is coming from. Faith is not believing that I will. Faith is knowing that I already have because I love you and for no other reason. I looked at every day of your life and already put all things you could ever need right there where they would appear when you need them. This is why I said to make your request with thanksgiving. You don't ask by asking. You ask by thanking me. Just as when I stood at Lazarus' tomb, I didn't cry out to my Father to raise him from the dead. I knew my Father heard the desires of my heart. I gave thanks that he heard my desires, and I called Lazarus out. I am the resurrection, and no one who lives in me ever dies. You must learn to live in the completed realm. Most of my children live as if the cross were not my final answer. My cross screams, I love you. Don't you hear it? What more needs to be said or done to prove how much I love you? I've always been in love with you and will always be in love with you. Your mistakes and blunders don't change that. You can try to run, but my love will find you. As David said, even if I make my bed in hell, you are with me. He understood that no matter what he was going through, he would never be alone. He understood that my love will march into hell to deliver my loved ones. So, my precious ones, you are not alone. You are not cast away. You are not orphans. I came to live inside you so that you would never be alone. The only time you even experience loneliness is because you lose focus that I am in you. The only time you experience lack is because you look at your circumstances and not at my table. I prepare a table for you in the midst of your fight. I make your enemies watch us break bread together before I destroy them. It's so funny. Imagine your enemies gathered around you for war, but you say, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to break bread with my friend and have a nice drink, maybe even some dessert. And then we will remove your heads. Beloved ones, no more fear, no more anxiety. I want to trade you my peace for your worries. I want to give you my rest for your weariness. I'll trade you. You give me your doubt, and I'll give you my faith. You give me your disease, and I will give you my health. You give me your sin, and I will give you my holiness. You give me today, and I will give you eternity. Oh, how I love you, my precious ones. If only I could make you understand just how much all of heaven adores you. Meditate on my love until fear has no place left in you to hide. Remember, take my yoke upon you. I won't force it on you. You must put it on. No more heavy burdens, no more stress. See all your problems on one side of my scale and see my love on the other side. Never forget, love broke the scale, and it always will. And this is the end of the words he spoke to me at that moment. I hope you're encouraged by these words. Until next time, grow rich in his grace. I love you all, and I'll see you soon.